What is up? It is Maximus MMA bringing you another video this week. Look, after I saw Alex Pereira call out Herb Dean, okay, for allowing Ciryl Gane to strike him repeatedly to the back of the head, I knew I had to make this video because if you saw my breakdown of UFC Freedom 250 and my recap, okay, before and after, okay, I was saying that you have to watch for the dirty strikes of Ciryl Gane. Real ball knowers know, okay? That Ciryl Gane is the dirtiest fighter in the UFC, allegedly, in my opinion. Okay? And I think that, look, I'll let you form your own opinion, but I'm here to bring the evidence together. Okay? So if you can draw a great conclusion as to what kind of man Ciryl Gane is in the cage using our pattern recognition skills. Okay? So let's throw those hats on and let's get it going. Now, I would like to say this. Despite all of these, in my opinion, dirty tactics that Ciryl Gane repeatedly shows, and you will find out soon, he is an amazing fighter. We can't take that away from him, okay? I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5", huge guy, extremely fast, world-class level kickboxer. He's a great fighter. So, even though I am heavily criticizing him in this video, I do want to make it clear, I do respect him. I respect his skills, but I don't respect him as a man in a sense that he just has no honor. And again, that's my opinion. We'll see what you think as this video goes on. But as I mentioned when I first started the video, we're here because, look, Alex Pereira called out Herb Dean. And he said, look, before the fight, he warned him, hey, Ciryl Gane, he tends to do some things in fights, okay? If you have a pattern recognition ability of a crow or greater, right? Maybe even a gorilla. Okay, you probably start to catch on if you've been watching the career of Ciryl Gane. I certainly have, okay? And Alex Pereira, okay, he was doing his homework too. So shout out Alex, shout out his team. He's obviously very well managed. So they're going to bring to the attention of Herb Dean before the fight, hey man, you know, we got to watch these groin strikes and eye pokes and back of the head shots. Right? These are things that Ciryl Gane has mastered, okay? He's a master. You're going to find out. Yeah, so Alex Pereira did lose by round 2 KO. He was dropped by a completely clean shot. Again, Ciryl Gane's a great fighter, right? But we'll get into some of these finishing sequences here. So first, we've got Gane versus Pereira. As you can see, we'll play it through, and then we'll kind of break it down for you. All right. Multiple back of the head shots there. Alex Pereira would eventually end up getting KO'd. But let's play this in slow motion, okay? That one's clean. Back of the head. Clean. Okay, these are clean strikes, right? That one was to the back of the head, but the one that was really clean, right? You did notice that one hurt Alex the most. Then you're going to see Alex roll over, back of the head elbow, kind of to the side. Okay. Ciryl Gane is covering his head here, so it's kind of hard to tell. Another side of the head, that one's probably all right. Back of the head, in my opinion. Back of the head. The point is, right, is that Ciryl Gane in these fights, back of the head, right, attempts to go to the back of the head, misses. Back of the head again, right? Like, this is the thing about Ciryl Gane, okay, is that if everybody else is playing under the rules, because this is a sport, right? Look, it's MMA, we're not fighting to the death. Okay, I understand it's a combat sport, and Alex Pereira said the exact same thing, right? Look, when you have a flurry, okay, things do happen. But Alex says, look, you know, I don't tend to hit guys in the back of the head in my flurries, but Ciryl Gane does it every time. So really the problem that I have with it is that we're playing by two different rules. Because if you have Ciryl Gane hurt, you have to be thinking, okay, I don't want to strike him in the back of the head, right? Don't want to eye poke him, etc. Ciryl Gane, bro, the rules don't apply to him. He is going to do anything that is within his physical power to get you out of there. So now we're playing by different rules, right? Everybody saw this Alex Pereira one. I don't really need to beat a dead horse about it, okay? You can form your own opinion. But the plot thickens, trust me. Just Ciryl Gane's last fight against Tom Aspinall. One of the nastiest eye pokes you've ever seen. Watch this. Boom. Okay? Let's rewind that. And let's go really slow motion here. Again, everybody should have saw this already. Tom Aspinall will end up being out at least a year, okay, because of this. Watch this, watch this. We're going to 0.25, so it's going to go pretty slow here. Full extension into the eyeball, and you see Tom immediately. Like, hey, man, this shit ain't cool. Look, the thing of that is that people were calling Tom Aspinall a quitter for not continuing. They released, okay, a little, I guess, interview. I really don't know what I should call it. It's more of a clip of Tom Aspinall verbally accepting Ciryl Gane's call out after Ciryl Gane won at the White House at Freedom UFC 250, where he said, hey, September Paris. Now, do I think September Paris will happen? Probably not. I think it'll probably be a little bit closer to the end of the year, but we shall see. Yeah, people were saying that Gane quit in this fight. Dude, in that little clip, okay, that was recorded on Sunday night, Tom Aspinall still, you can see eye damage, dude. You can find it on his Instagram if you really care. Okay, he still has a freaking redness in the right here in the middle of his, kind of like inside of his eye. Sorry, not middle. Disgusting. It was a double eye poke. Just ridiculous, right? In a fight that people were saying Gane was winning. Now, in my opinion, was he winning the first round? I guess, but it's, it's 10-9 round, dude. In a 5-round fight, who cares, right? It's heavyweight, too. Somebody's going to get finished. I mean, we saw the Alex Pereira fight, right? Like, did the first round, who won that round, matter? No. It was never going 5. So, Aspinall is well in that fight. And in my opinion, Gane started to slow down slightly. I think that he always does something dirty, man. Let's keep going. Oh, wait, against Jon Jones, the GOAT himself. We're 4 seconds into the fight. We couldn't even make it 5 seconds without Ciryl Gane saying, you know what? I need to land some sort of illegal strike here. Okay, and the thing with this one is it the dirtiest strike? No. Right? So in my opinion, it does land, okay, on the groin area if you really slow it down. But this is where it gets... See, it clearly lands. I mean, you can clearly see that. Right. Boom. That is a groin strike. No questions asked. But Jon Jones, see, this is where it gets crazy, because Jon Jones, obviously a guy who's very cerebral, right? He knows. He does tape study, okay? And he said before the fight, look, I was warning the referee, hey, you got to watch Ciryl Gane with these groin strikes and these eye pokes and these back of the head strikes. He literally had an interview where he said that he warned him preemptively. The same thing Alex Pereira did, but Herb Dean did not step in to stop the fight. Now, not to backtrack too much, but again, I do want to make it clear, I do understand where Herb Dean's coming from. Again, also on UFC Freedom 250 and the White House, unfortunately, you kind of do have to let it play out. So that's where, we'll get at the end of the video, I'll kind of revisit this, but Jon Jones knew that Ciryl Gane was a dirty fighter, and he also said in the post-fight speech after he won this fight that, look, I called timeout immediately because I had to make sure the ref understood we're not doing this cheating crap, okay? Jon Jones, whether you think he's a good man or not, he's not, but you know, he's a great fighter, and he knows fighting, okay? He's going to do anything it takes to win. And if that means to eye poke other guys, because look, Jon Jones is known for eye poking as well, okay? So it's kind of the pot calling the kettle black here, but look, Jon, he's not going to let this shit slide, man, okay? And he ended up winning the fight. Good for him. But we keep going. How about Gane versus Tuivasa? Okay, now, good right hand. Nasty back of the head strike. I mean, do you see? Now, was Tuivasa on the way out already? Yes. But you're seriously going to tell me that there was any attempt to land this head, not this head, to land this strike in a legal position on Tuivasa's head? You're going to look me in the eye and say that? Watch this again. Slow motion. I mean, just completely. Boom. I mean, and then he drops freaking 400-pound Tuivasa. Look, man. Okay, we're not done yet. That's where it gets even better. We're literally not even done. And these are like all of his recent fights. I'll actually have a complete recap at the end. It's going to be really nice to look at. Okay, a good graphic to really put it into perspective about some pattern recognition that could start to develop after following the career of Ciryl Gane. Because I see a lot of people, you know, typically people from, you know, maybe the Middle East or, you know, because, you know, it's kind of a cult in MMA, right? Like, look, I'm going to call a spade a spade. Look, all the Muslims support all the Muslims, okay? Like, that's how it is. And that's cool. Root for your guys. But they refuse to see anything with their fighters ever, right? That's just how it goes. And, you know, I've seen some topics online like, oh, anybody saying Gane's a dirty fighter is just salty Pereira fan, right? Yeah, no, dude, that's not reality. Okay? Again, in my opinion, allegedly. But we keep going. Okay? Now, this one, I didn't even include the full clip because this is kind of a long, drawn-out finish, right? Ciryl Spivac was like, you know, on skates, I guess, kind of tired and beat up for about a minute before Ciryl Gane got him out of there. But let's just watch this finishing sequence here. Okay, 1 back head strike. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, maybe not 6. 6! There we go. 6 is coming, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry. Gane's always going to give you at least 6 here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12! Back of the head strikes. I mean, it's just one of those things where, you know, how it happens every time, right? It's like the idea that it's like people don't want you in this world to notice patterns. Like, if every single time that I go outside, okay, a purple guy comes from freaking outer space and proceeds to take my wallet, let's say every time means 3 different times, right? But I've never been robbed by a yellow guy or a green guy or a red guy or a white guy or a black guy, right? Wouldn't you start to come to the conclusion that, hey, after it happens 3 times, okay, maybe that this group of people or this person might be more likely to do it a 4th time? I mean, I'm just saying, right? That can get you in jail in certain parts of UK, okay, for saying that. Right? I live in the United States of America. I will always tell the truth. It's just how it is. Right? But with Ciryl Gane, it's like, again, like Alex Pereira said, when we get into these flurry exchanges, right? Especially finishing exchanges, you know, your adrenaline's through the roof, right? You're just trying to get them out of there. Look, things can happen. Okay? We can make mistakes. Okay? Anybody that's trained for any amount of time has hit somebody with a low blow, has hit somebody maybe a little bit too hard in light sparring, has hit somebody in the back of the head. It does happen. I've done it myself, right? Does it happen every single day, though? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. At least not for me. Hey, maybe I have self-control, right? I have this thing called self-control. Ciryl Gane and, you know, some people that could be related, and look, they tend not to have self-control. Look, again, hey, but look, we'll keep going. It just gets better. That's why it's so awesome. It's like, it just doesn't stop. We will show our last clip here because I felt bad not putting in Junior Dos Santos, who is a UFC legend. I felt like he had to be included on this simply because his name deserves to be said, right? Unfortunately, you know, he's an unk now, and he just got KO'd by Robelis de Spain on the MVP card with Jake Paul's promotions kind of deal. But this was when JDS was kind of, you know, towards the end of his days, but not like complete unk, right, if that makes sense. But I remember JDS was very angry about this elbow that Gane landed. Again, was Gane probably going to win this fight? Yes. He was a huge favorite. He had JDS almost out. Boom! I mean, it kind of cuts out there in my clip, but you can see how Junior Dos Santos, obviously he's rocked, right? But he has some sense of security in this spot. He thinks, you know what? From this angle, okay, you can see Gane is behind him, okay, kind of, you know, at least 2/3 of his body is technically, you know, behind, okay, JDS. He's thinking, you know, he's not going to throw an elbow here. There's no way he's going to throw a right elbow, right? Oh, no. No, you don't know what kind of person we're dealing with, JDS. And look, unfortunately, he had to go to sleep because of it. Now, this is where we're going to really put it into perspective, okay? This is a Tapology little screenshot of, you know, Ciryl Gane's last, you know, number of fights in the UFC, right? Alex Pereira. Keep in mind, when I put this on here, it's for you to make your own judgment, right? Because some people might think that the back of the head shots on JDS, that might have been legal, right? Or maybe JDS turned, right? So this, I'm just laying it out there that there is some sort of controversy in every single Ciryl Gane fight. Every single one. The only one I did not put something next to was Francis Ngannou, because technically, if I remember correctly, there was no actual, like, referee stoppage where he was like, hey, buddy, like, no eye poking. Or, hey, buddy, like, no groin strikes or fence grabs. But there was a close groin strike that Ngannou kind of did make a little face about, but the fight never stopped, so I didn't feel like I should include it there because that would be kind of reaching, in my opinion. I don't think I'm reaching with the rest of these. I mean, with Pereira, we had the back of the head shots. Tom Aspinall, disgusting eye poke. Volkov, 2, fence grab, okay? Vicious fence grab, right, from Ciryl Gane. He was about to get taken down. Literally full on. It's disgusting, man. Sergey Spivac, which we saw back of the head shots repeatedly. What did we give him? 7 or 8? I lost count. I think it was actually more than that. And then Jon Jones, we saw the groin strike within 5 seconds. Hey, man, he's fighting the GOAT. Dude, we've got to disable this guy in the first 5 seconds, right? That was probably the game plan of Ciryl Gane, like, unironically. Like, and I don't blame him. Like, if I'm fighting Jon Jones, like, I'm getting dirty too. Because, again, Jon Jones is one of the dirtiest fighters as well. But now that Jon Jones is retired, I mean, Ciryl Gane has taken the crown. And then we've got Tuivasa, back of the head shot, where we saw the boom, okay? Hey, Gane, I just went over that kind of half groin shot, didn't include it. Derek Lewis, back of the head shots in the finishing exchange. Didn't show the clip. It happened. Look it up. If you really want, again, you can watch all these clips. They're all on YouTube, right? /X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. You'll find them. Alexander Volkov in the first fight. An eye poke. Okay. Nice, an eye poke. Jairzinho Rosenstrike. There were 2 groin strikes in that fight. 2! And an eye poke. Okay? I didn't put the eye poke in my little notes here, but it happened. I saw it. I watched all these fights back just because I was like, doesn't Gane foul somebody in every single fight? I was like, yeah, wait, I do remember that correctly. The pattern recognition. Okay? Look, man. I'm not saying I've got a special ability, but I've got an ability, right? That clearly not everybody has. And then we've got Junior Dos Santos, which we showed, back of the head strike, elbow, which to me, that one's the most controversial one because, again, in that position that JDS was in, right? But still, the point is that in these finishing sequences, which we saw with JDS, which we saw with Alex Pereira, okay, before, when that fight was, before the fight, when he warned him about these back of the head shots, eye pokes, etc., is that in these finishing exchanges, these guys are subconsciously, they know the rules. They know that they're in a sport. They're like, hey, man, like, I'm not in here to kill him. I'm here to put him unconscious. Very different things, man. And the reason why I don't hit to the back of the head is because you can seriously kill somebody like that very easily, right? It's just, I mean, there's a reason why we're not breaking people's necks, right? Okay? We're tapping out, right? We're not getting a rear naked choke going or headbutting and shit like that. And point is that Ciryl Gane has no rules in there. Everybody else is playing under a rule set. That is the problem I have with it. Because it's just not fair. It's really not. And again, I hate to ramble and rant and not offer a solution, but I really am at a loss of words because I don't know how you solve this. Because in these high-profile fights, how can you punish Gane? I mean, taking away a point at heavyweight, like we said, it's not going to decision anyways, majority of the time. Right? So what does that really do? I mean, you got to take a point, but okay, if you take a point and then you knock him out a minute later, like, who really cares, right? You can't stop the fight mid-knockdown and serious moment with Pereira and Gane, right? I mean, like, it just would throw out the flow of everything. Maybe you have to do that, but from a viewer's perspective, like, we don't want it to come to that. We just want these guys to follow the freaking rules, man. Like, I don't know if Ciryl Gane needs to go to, like, a mandatory, like, rules training, like, before every single bout. I don't even know if they do that. I hope they do. I mean, like, but the thing is, he obviously knows the rules. He's just disregarding them. And I don't know, bro. Put him in prison after his career or something. Like, honestly. It's just, I'm at a loss for words. Let me know if you guys have any better ideas in the comments. Or if you think that Ciryl Gane is a dirty fighter after watching this video. Obviously, I've come to my conclusion. As always, this is Maximus Mma. I appreciate you watching. If you didn't check out my recap video of UFC Freedom 250, go do that. And yeah, I will be dropping my predictions preview for Manel Kape against Corey Horiguchi going down this Saturday night at the UFC Apex. Hey man, back in the good old Apex, dude. Looking forward to that. But yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, and Ciryl Gane, Tom Aspinall is coming for you, brother. Okay? We are going to put the cheat unconscious before the end of the year and unify the heavyweight belts. Know it. Just know it. Know it, Gane. Your days are numbered, okay?